Welcome to the Gavel. I'm your host, Benny Ark. This week, we have the honor of sitting down with Senator Govt Akpabio, President of the Senate, to discuss the intricacies of the legislative-executive relationship and the 10th Assembly's plans for the future. It's a conversation you wouldn't want to miss, so let's get started.
My message to Nigerians is for them to keep hope alive, to remain prayerful, supportive of the administration, and for them to be rest assured that if there is anything any government can do to better the lot of Nigerians, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government will do so. And don't forget that you are bringing a president who is tested and trusted, a man who has the experience in all spheres of governance. He has tested the private sector, rose to the level of a treasurer in ExxonMobil, and of course, as a governor of Lagos State, he led the blueprint that today has led to what we are seeing, Lagos being one of the most prosperous cities in the whole of Africa, with probably the largest economy of any city in West Africa. You look at his achievements in the area of IGR, internally generated revenue. He made Lagos at 600 million, and by the time he put the policy in place today, Lagos is churning out almost 60 billion in a month as IGR. And the same way in Nigeria, what he has started today has already started to bear fruits. So my message is very simple. Keep hope alive. Pray for the president. Pray for his administration. But be very, very hopeful and be rest assured that things will definitely get better, despite the messy situation that we met on ground economically.
Let's look at the level of complementarity between the executive and the legislature. How are you aligning with the executive to deliver on the dividends of democracy to Nigerians, especially as your administration or your tenure is seen as the government's favorite?
Our policy is very simple. It's people-centered. We are more interested in what benefits Nigerians. Sometimes even the government brings out policies, and we'll shoot the policy down because we believe that the timing is wrong for the benefit of Nigerians. So we are aligned together to ensure that we reject the laws, and then of course we amend some of the sections of the different laws. Some are anachronistic. Some of the laws have been there before 1959, and some are still in our books today. And then we are trying our best to make sure that we amend those things, and then we bring out legislations that will better a lot of the people. So we are aligned with the administration's resolve to renew the hope of Nigerians in all facets of human endeavor. And that is exactly what we are doing. For me, and I'm optimist, I believe that yes, the days that we met on ground were a little bit murky, economically and otherwise. I don't want to, I'm not going to criticize any past administration, but all I want to say is that a combination of factors led to where we are, including COVID-19, and of course the world economic recession. There is no country in the world that is not feeling the impact of the current situation. When you have the war in Ukraine, and then you have the war going on in Gaza, Ukrainian war on its own will affect the wheat supply to the world, because they supplied more than 30% of the wheat all over the world, so the prices will go up. The inflation is on the high side, and then of course the Naira has fallen short of expectations to a point where the purchasing power is down very low and all that. And so in all these instances, what the government is trying to do is to cushion the effects of these things on the Nigerian populace. And of course, the workers are yearning for increase in their income, in their monthly take-home pay, and government is alive to that. And for the first time, you have an administration that is also doing the right thing, fighting corruption the right way, fighting corruption by punishing those who are engaged in it, but at the same time providing the enabling environment to cushion the effect of poverty in the system. because the corruption has a twin brother, and that twin brother is poverty. Poverty leads to corruption, and corruption in itself now deepens poverty. As a governor, I had the opportunity to declare free and compulsory education in my state, and at that time, I did not do it for only Akwa Ibom. I declared the compulsory education for all Nigerian children who found their way in Akwa Ibom, from primary school all the way to senior secondary school level, and I paid WAEC fees for all. I paid NAPTIC fees for all. I had nothing to do with religion. It had nothing to do with state of origin. It was just open to all. And then, of course, we had quantum leap in the number of intakes in schools. And so we had to build over 6,000 classroom blocks, employ thousands of teachers and all that. And that policy today is being celebrated by all and sundry. So the most vulnerables in our society, and many of our children that were unfortunately dealing with selling of menial things like even newspapers, groundnut, oranges, and some doing child prostitution in Gabon and other places, all came back home to join in the educational milieu. And at the end of the day, my people were happy for it. To have a president who is bringing that kind of policy to the national level, that yes, indeed, you may not have money to obtain tertiary education, to become a graduate in future. And then he brought up these students' loans. So the parliament immediately rose to it. And he went through the two chambers in a hurry. And today, Nigerian children have the right to go out there, apply for loan. And if you don't have a job in 5 years, after graduation, you don't have to pay the loan. Because where will you pay it from? But should you have a job, immediately you graduate, it means we start the deductions as to enable others to join in the scheme. It's a revolving scheme. So I think that particular act of parliament is the one that is most dear to my heart. Within the first year of this administration, outside other social amenities and programs that he is putting in place, that one is very close to my heart. When you open the door of school, you close the door of the prison. And so when you give people education, it's like giving somebody an opportunity to learn how to fish. You are not giving the person fish. You are teaching him how to fish forever. And the difference between the driver and the car seat owner is education. That's all I used to tell my people. And today they are managers of the economy all over Nigeria. They are no longer house elves and houseboys. That aspect was consigned to foreigners.
So in the face of the poverty, relentless poverty that Nigerians seem to suffer, are you strategizing in a special way, in any way, with the executive to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians?
I don't know what the public expects from the legislature, but I do know that what we expect from ourselves is to take care of the interests of the public. It's definitely going to work because we are not an appendage of the executive. We are taking actions that will promote the peace and unity of the country. When there is infraction in security, we invite the security chiefs. And we go into closed-door sessions, we listen to them, then we provide solutions, and they go back to implement. And then when there is an opportunity to make the law, we do so. If there is need to amend the law, we do so. And there is something that the president consistently points out, that is not infallible. Infallibility is the precept of God. In other words, it's not above mistake. Point it out, and I'll correct myself. I'm not afraid to correct myself, because I'm not God. So I can take decisions that may not be the best, but please just point it out. The same thing in the parliament. We are not infallible. We are human beings also, and we live in the same society, affected by the same weather, affected by the same economic circumstances and all that. So we are not different from you. But one thing we can assure you is that as your voice, as your representative, we will only take actions based on your needs. We will take actions based on what we call the need analysis. We will hear from our constituents, come back here, and take actions that will better a lot of the people. So there's no need to have any doubt that this 10th Assembly is very determined, not just to work with the Nigerian people, but to work with government on policies that will definitely improve the lot of Nigerians.
Tuesday's Senate proceedings witnessed a flurry of activity as lawmakers convened to address pressing matters of national urgency. Let's take a look. It was a busy day as matters of urgent national importance flooded Tuesday's proceedings.
I'd like to move the motion on.
The attention of the House was drawn to the situation in the Plateau State House of Assembly, where some of the new members are yet to be sworn in by the Speaker. Honorable Idris Wase describes this as an act which undermines the principles of democracy.
Concerned that the remaining members of the Plateau State House of Assembly are being compelled to submit letters of resignation accompanied by court affidavits as a condition for their swearing in. The House therefore resolved to urge the leadership of the National Assembly to intervene and ensure that the remaining members elect of the Plateau House Assembly are sworn in for the purpose of equity, fairness, and justice.
The House also considered and adopted a motion of urgent national importance, urging the authorities to ensure that international oil companies in the Niger Delta clean up oil spillage caused by them before divesting from the country.
Aware that oil spillages caused by the international oil companies have continued to negatively affect the Niger Delta region's environment, decreasing the agricultural productivity due to farmland degradation and causing pollution of traditional fishing grounds and destruction of aquatic life. Disturbed that if international oil companies are allowed to divest from Nigeria without cleaning up the Niger Delta, the region will continue to suffer from environmental degradation and health complications caused by their operation.
Another matter of urgent importance, the Kaduna-Abuja train which derailed on the 26th of May this year, leaving passengers stranded in the Jere area of Kaduna State, was brought before the House.
The House resolved that to invite the Honorable Minister of Transport and other relevant stakeholders in the railway sector through the House Committee of Land, Transportations to explain to Nigerians the reason behind the repeated derailment and the measures taken by them to avert further reoccurrence of these unfortunate incidents.
Lawmakers then turned their attention to a bill seeking to amend the Electoral Act.
A political party that adopts the system of indirect primaries for the choice of its candidates shall clearly outline in its constitution and rules the procedure for the democratic election of delegates to vote at the convention, congress, or meeting, in addition to statutory delegates already prescribed in the constitution of the political party.
In the twilight of the 9th Assembly, lawmakers had passed an amendment to correct the error, but the bill did not receive the approval of the then President, Muhammadu Buhari. Meanwhile, another amendment proposed in the bill also sought to address the issue of overvoting.
Where the number of votes cast at an election in any polling unit exceeds the number of accredited voters in that polling unit, the presiding officer shall deduct the number of excess votes across all political parties in that polling unit, and the presiding officer shall be prosecuted.
This law is trying to say where you ignore it and move ahead to enter 12, whereas the accreditation is 10, you should be punished. That is to deter people from, giving us frivolous results. Because what happened is that some presiding officers are energized to just write the results.
The bill scaled second reading. Also a bill to establish College of Education, Ijesha, Lagos, scaled second reading.
I like to state that the need for a College of Education in Ijesha is to promote and have good quality teaching experience, whereby we would have what it entails to have a good academic knowledge and coping with the quality that is expected of our students of today. In view of the pre-post-COVID era, the dynamics for which education is today has changed, and the need for us to have a diverse landscape in which our teachers are trained to impact that knowledge on us.
In the meantime, the House has reshuffled its committees, new chairmen to include Honorable Aminu Belele as Chairman Committee on Army and Honorable Abdulmumuni Jubrin as Chairman Committee on Housing and Habitat. Thanks for staying with us. You're still watching the Gavel. I am Benny Ark. In the Senate, budget deliberations take center stage as the day's business. The chairman of the Senate Committee on the Niger Delta Development Commission presents the 1.91 trillion naira 2024 budget proposal, aligning key allocations and strategic priorities. Here is the report.
In the Senate, budget submissions dominate the day's business. As the chairman of the Senate Committee on the Niger Delta Development Commission makes a presentation of the scrutinized 1.91 trillion naira 2024 budget as proposed by the Commission.
That the revenue profile for the Commission for the year 2024 is as follows. Revenue brought forward, 12 billion. Federal government contribution, 324,844,833,046 naira. Federal government contribution in essence unpaid arrears by federal government and recoveries by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, 170 billion. All companies' contribution and Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited and others, 375 billion. Ecological funds, 25 billion. Borrowings, 1 trillion. Other internally realized income, 5 billion. Total revenue, 1,911,844,833,046 naira. Prayers. That the Senate do consider and approve the year 2024 budget proposal for the Niger Delta Development Commission in the sum of 1,911,844,833,046 naira, only as recommended by the committee. Total revenue, 1,911,844,833,046 naira. Prayers. That the Senate do consider and approve the year 2024 budget proposal for the Niger Delta Development Commission in the sum of 1,911,844,833,046 naira, only as recommended by the committee.
The 1 trillion naira borrowings became a subject of concern.
The request is normally given to the committee to deliberate and then come up with the report. But now it is included in the budget. I think the procedure here has been bypassed, in my opinion, Mr. President. So I want an explanation on this.
I observe that 174 billion was for unpaid projects across. What are these projects? Where are the lists that shows that they are really unpaid?
Yes, this is a bill that came from the presidency. But you know that before they can go a borrowing to the tune of 1 trillion, they must follow due process. They must follow due process. So I don't think this is the end.
The report came 24 hours after the Commission defended its budget before the Senate Committee. The budget is subsequently passed.
Those against saying the ayes have it.
Similarly, the 98.5 billion naira FCT supplementary budget for 2024 was presented for consideration. Just before consideration of the report, the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory raised an order of privilege to protest her exclusion from activities of the committee.
Though I am in the committee of the Federal Capital Territory, whenever critical matters like budget or anything to do with the FCT is being discussed, I am never told. All I see is that it has been brought to the Senate. Sir, in the Federal Capital Territory...
No, the civil senator is ready. You have your motion. Okay, so we suspend it till tomorrow. Point of order is in order. Suspend. The total sum of 98.5 billion naira, third reading taken.
The Senate then dissolved into a closed-door meeting, after which, like the House, plenary was adjourned till July the 2nd for the Salah break.
This week on Constituency Focus, we sit down with Senator Yemi Adaramodu, representing Ekiti South Senatorial District. He shares his visions and plans for his constituency, working towards a better future for his people. Let's hear his thoughts.
always been with my people, even when I was not a legislator. And I was in the House of Representatives in the 9th Assembly. And before then, I had been the Chief of Staff in the Ekiti State. I had been a local government chairman. And then my people in my own constituency, especially the South Central District that I represent now, they know me, that ever before I was made their senator, I've always been very, very close to them, very accessible to them. I've always made myself available to sit down with them, live with them. And even for now, I'm always at home. At times you can even almost not know whether I work in Abuja or in the South Central District. So I'm always at home. And then when I started as House of Representatives member from Ekiti South Central District Federal Constituency 1, comprising 3 local governments of Iseonu, Ikere, and Ekiti Southwest, I told them then that, look, if I represent you and I don't do well, if I come back next time for whatever position, don't support me. But if I've done well, let your votes show that I've done well. And to the greater glory of God and to the benevolence of our people, in the Ekiti South Senatorial District Federal Constituency 1 then, which I represented in the House of Representatives, there was no village, there was no town that I did not touch, that you will not see my own legacy. Either clinic, school, road, potable water provision, and several like that. Halls, town halls, and so many things like that. And apart from that, human development. And it will interest you that I even facilitated the employment of nothing less than 70 indigents from that my own federal constituency then into various facets, various sectors, either federal government, employment, and sundry. So I did all those things. I have even given free uniforms to indigent students in schools across the Central District. I've done empowerment for youth, ICT training and startup. I've done it for them. I've done for traders. I've done for even POS operators. I even give them POS machines and give them startup funds to start their POS. And I've done even empowerment, professional, because when I do my own empowerment, it has to be for the artisans. I look at them, especially women and the young ones. I look at them, if you have gone to train as a tailor and you are unable to maybe have your tools, I buy for them. For organizer, I bought for them, and several like that.
Do you have offices where you operate from?
Yes, I have my office. Yes, I have my office. My office is at Ado Road, Ikere Ekiti. That is the headquarters of my Central District. It was the headquarters of my own federal constituency then. And then it's still the same headquarters of my Senatorial District. And when you get there, you will see activities there at my office, Senatorial office in the Ikere Ekiti. That is along Ado Ekiti Road. Presently, we are upgrading the hall in the Ogoga Palace. We are upgrading it. And then, like I said, apart from several children that I'm training in schools, both in secondary and in the university, that I am training, apart from them, there are several of them. And then I cannot even count how many that I do goodwill to and make sure that I help them to establish businesses, petty trades, and then give them support in their professions. I'm always at home. When you get to my Senatorial District, our people, they even nickname me. They even call me ATM. And before the local people can call you ATM, it means that automated transfer machine. So meaning that there's no way you will come to me and you will not take something away.
That's it for this week's program. Your feedback is important. So email us at thegavel@channelstv.com. Thank you for watching. I'm Benny Ark. Stay safe and be well.